guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is one I'm really excited about because this was an idea I dreamed up probably back in January or February of this year, and it was a goal that I wanted to create before Christmas this year. And thankfully I was able to accomplish that. So in today's video, what I'm going to show you is how I created this concrete fireplace. And so if that's something you're interested in, please keep watching. Okay, so before we started, what we did was we took blue painter's tape and marked out where the fireplace would go on the wall. So we knew the start and end point of our fireplace. And then you can see Elliot has already removed most of my baseboard so that way we can fit the framing flat, basically flush against the wall. So he just needed to go in and cut a little bit extra. So he's just using this oscillating tool to cut a little bit more of the baseboard off, just to make sure we have all the baseboard removed from the area. So that'll be your first step. Okay, and then the second step that you'll see Elliot taking here is he's actually cutting holes in both sides of the fireplace wall. So he's going to cut out a chunk of the drywall in this area. And so I kind of want to explain when you would need to do this and what the purpose of this is. So I just want to clarify, this is not a step that you would have to take if you have a wood framed house. If you have a wood framed house, you can anchor your 2x4s for your framing of the fireplace into the studs behind the walls. The problem we had was because my house is a block house built to hurricane code, because I do live in an area that gets hit by hurricanes, what we had to do was we didn't want to anchor directly into the drywall or the furring strips that are right behind the drywall. We needed to anchor directly into the concrete or block wall. So what we did was we cut out a chunk of the drywall, and then you see him anchoring basically a chunk of 2x4 directly into the concrete. And that way we can anchor our wood framing into that. So that's what you see us doing here. And so again, some of you may not need to take that step, but if you need to be able to anchor into the block wall, then you would need to do that. And if I did this in another room or like a different area of the house that's not an external wall, I wouldn't have to do that step. Okay, and then I did want to call out a couple of things on the framing that Elliot has done here, just in case you've never done any framing in a home and just want some guidance. So what we did was, first we found the center of the fireplace wall, and we measured 8 inches from the center in each direction, and that gave us our stud placement, because we want to have the studs 16 inches apart, which is a pretty traditional stud placement. Then after establishing those 2 center studs, then what you can do is the next ones, you can measure out 16 inches on either side, or 24 inches, because both 16 and 24 inch studs are the traditional stud placement. What we did with ours was we went out and measured 24 inches on either side, because that basically gave us the end of the fireplace. And then a couple of reasons why this is helpful. I mean, you may choose to do it differently with how you put your 2x4s in, but if you do the traditional stud placement, it's pretty helpful, because then you can do your measurements and know exactly where, when you put your drywall or your cement board up, where you need to screw it in to hit the studs. Also, it becomes very helpful because one thing that Elliot had mentioned to me was that when you're putting up Durarock, if you're trying to use a stud finder to find your studs, it may be hard to find it with the stud finder because the cement board is so dense and thick. So it's just easier to know if you're able to measure and say, okay, this is where my stud is at. And then also that's really helpful if you're trying to mount your TV mount. Also, you kind of need to know where the studs are. So another thing that he had called out to me when he was doing this, it's not something we had to worry about, but depending on where you live, if you're in an area that requires screw or electrical inspections, using the the standardized stud placement will help you ensure that you don't fail those inspections. So that was something he mentioned to me that could be helpful to you as well. So, and then another thing I want to mention is this isn't necessarily necessary for everyone, but if you are going to go in with, like, let's say a heavy piece of reclaimed lumber like we do, or you're going to have a fairly heavy mantle, you may want to do like we did. We added in a header to mount the mantle to, and we did that because we were pretty sure that we were going to get a reclaimed piece of barnwood and it's not going to be light. So just a helpful little tip. Now that we've completed all of our framing, we're beginning to go in with the Durarock, the cement board that I had mentioned. And so I have a couple tips on this. So what we did to cut it was we actually put a piece of Durarock in my truck bed, measured the line where we want to cut it, and then we scored it multiple times with a razor blade and then simply snapped it off. One thing that I will mention is you want to limit how many cuts you have to make to the cement board. It's kind of easy to make it crumble off, so try to use it in as whole of pieces as you can. That's one thing that we tried to do. And then also just know that we're going to be using an oscillating tool to cut it. When you see it get put up here, you'll see we have to cut out certain sections. Okay, so now you see us screwing into the Durarock and attaching it to the 2x4s. And there's special screws that we purchased that are specifically used for attaching cement board. So just make sure to use the proper screws. And if you're trying to attach a huge piece of Durarock, like a solid sheet like this, on your fireplace, I will say that this was a helpful tip that Elliot did for us. He installed these small pieces of 2x4 so that I didn't have to physically hold up a whole sheet of it while he screwed it in. So it's holding itself up there. I'm just holding it in place so it doesn't fall. So if you can do something like that, it will make your life so much easier. And here, as I mentioned previously, whenever you need to cut out a section, you'll just want to use an oscillating tool. It makes life really easy with cutting the cement board. And you'll probably need a couple of bits for it, just because the cement board really chews it up. And you kind of tend to go through at least one on this project. So he's just going to cut out that section, like I mentioned, where we're going to mount our TV mount. And also you'll see we put an outlet behind in that little section, so that way we can plug in the TV right there. We can also plug our fireplace in there. That way we're able to, if we need to ever unplug the fireplace, we can access it. And we can also access, plug the TV in there as well. So just think about your outlet placing as well. And, if necessary, you could obviously hire an electrician to do this part. We just did this part for ourselves off camera. finishes the Durarock on this section, that's pretty much going to do it for this video. I did want to divide the fireplace project up into two separate videos because I didn't want it to be too long of a video, but I also wanted to be able to give you guys a lot of details and explain the full process of what we were doing and why we did what we did. Here he is going in with, I can't remember what these pieces were called, but basically they're kind of like an edge, a plastic edging. that you're going to put along the edges just to make it really smooth when you do all your seams. And in the next video, we'll do all the seam work, we'll do the joint compound, we'll do the concrete, we'll install the mantle, and install the TV. So I'm probably going to put that next video out within a day of when this video comes out. That way you guys don't have to wait too long between seeing this and seeing the final project. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you like this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel, as I will be putting out more home DIY videos in the next year. Thanks guys, have a great one.